So, what is going on YouTube? This is your boy Sam from Team Zamrex here, and today guys, I'm coming at you with my updated True Draco deck profile for the March 2019 format. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. A lot of you guys have been asking me, Sam, what was the deck list that you played at UDS Vegas? And obviously I played True Dracos. It was a deck that I was most comfortable with, and with the least amount of testing that I had coming back from Thailand, I was really confident and very comfortable by, with just playing True Draco. This deck has one of the best matchups against the best deck right now in today's meta, which is Salamangreats. This deck literally bodies Salamangreats. I'm telling you guys right now, if you guys are looking for a deck that can just play with your eyes closed against Salamangreats, I think that True Draco is definitely the deck for you. And I just made a huge meta call for this event. I thought that there's going to be a lot of Salamangreats, and 70% of my matchups were all Salamangreats. But just to quickly wrap everything, I lost on the bubble on the last round, so I wasn't able to advance to day 2. On the last round, I was X2-1, and then I lost on the bubble. And just before I get started with the video, I want to let you guys know my matchups for this entire event. I faced against 5 Salamangreats, I faced against 1 Necros, 1 Crusadia Guard Dragon, 1 Orcus, and 1 Sky Striker. So I had to draw a Necros. It was a very grindy game. Game 1, I blew him out. Games 2, I basically couldn't see a monster. So I lost to my own Imperial Order, basically. I lost to 2 Salamangreat player, and I also lost to the Crusadia Guard Dragon, which is pretty unfortunate. And before I get started with this deck profile, if you guys want to help support the channel, make sure you guys get the awesome Dark Magician versus Blue Eyes playmat today. I'll leave a link to my website, TECHS1.com, in the link in the description box below. So make sure if you guys want to help support the channel, make sure you guys get your awesome playmats today. Nothing to really explain for the basic stuff. 1 Dynamite, triple Ignis Heat, and triple Majesty's Maiden. You don't need to play any other monsters. You don't need to play Border. You don't need to play a mono. You don't need to play any of that stuff. Like, guys, I've been playing Draco for quite some time now, and adding those cards into the deck in today's metagame is just more of a win more. Your deck already wins itself by just flipping 1 floodgate. So you don't need more win mores in your deck. This is all the monster you need, and this is the 7 correct monsters that you have to play. You cannot play less than 3 Maiden, because if you're facing against a Thunder Dragon matchup, you need to see monsters to beat your opponent. So you want to maximize on playing the Draco engine as much as you possibly can. And the really good thing about this deck is that Salamangreats, they're so reliant on their normal summon. So if they normal summon 1 monster and you activate a True Draco trap to basically tribute for your True Draco monster, and you use the trap to pop their monster, their turn is going to be more than likely over unless they have Will of the Salamangreat. So that's pretty much it for all the monsters. Very basic triple diagram, but obviously it's one of the best starter cards in your deck. Double Terraforming, obviously. Just standard stuff. Triple Disciples. Your deck also Emerald with the deck. These cards are your best draw powers in the deck. This card recycles your stuff, and True Draco Heritage lets you pop a card. And same goes with Disciples as well. At the same time, this card can potentially help you draw 3 cards in 1 turn, which is absolutely insane. And let me tell you guys again, these cards are just really, really broken in True Dracos, especially against Salamangreats. Once you set this card and you tribute something for a monster, you activate the True Draco Heritage or Disciples to pop a back row. Roar cannot negate the destruction effect, because Roar cannot negate that effect. Roar can only negate the activation, right? So up to draw power, double poly duality, because you want to see your combo pieces as quickly as possible. Not good against Thunder Dragons, because you can't you activate this card under Colossus, but against Thunder Dragons you set out poly duality anyways. A Pot of Desires, you must play Desires. Cards were one of the best consistency cards in the deck. And by the way, guys, the correct way to actually play your draw power in this deck, and I see a lot of people play this deck incorrectly. A lot of people say True Dracos is an easy deck to play. Yes, the deck is actually very linear, but if you don't know how to activate your cards properly, or when's the correct time to activate certain cards, you're not going to get anywhere with True Dracos. Even though that, yes, 1 floodgate can carry the game, if you don't know when to activate your cards properly, you're not going to win. And that's why I get mad when people are like, True Draco is such an easy deck to pilot. Yes, it's a linear deck to pilot, but if you don't know when to activate your cards, you're losing that duel, right? So it takes some skill to actually play True Dracos, believe it or not. And I played this deck for quite a long time, and I know the interactions with the whole entire deck. So anyways, these are the draw power, very standard. And obviously the correct way to actually activate one of these cards, especially the Card of Demise or Pot of Desires, is you obviously just want to have a monster on the field first. So, if you have a monster on the field, you activate Pot of Desires and they Ash Blossom, at least you can chain the monster's activation, right? To get either, a trap card, a spell, or a monster to your hand. If you want to have Ignis and a trap, okay, what you can do is you can just go activate, you just go Tribute, Trap, Summon Ignis, activate Desires, you banish 10, they Ash you activate Ignis, set the Heritage, you draw 1 for free, right? So instead of drawing 2 cards of Pot of Desires, you at least draw 1 card. So it's better than getting nothing, obviously. So that's another way. So that's the correct way to activate your draw cards and Desires, and also Card of Demise. And the reason why I also decided to play this deck is because you can play cards like this in your deck, especially Card of Demise. Any card that says draw 3 is just absolutely insane. So Card of Demise, Pot of Desires, and Duality is just very standard to play in this True Draco deck. Next off for your traps, True King's Return. very broken in the deck, helps you recycle your resources from your graveyard every single turn, and it's basically just a free diagram pop every single turn. Triple True Draco Apocalypse card is amazing, like one of the best trap cards in the deck. I think that, in some cases this card may be better than True King's Return. Apocalypse is really good because you can activate in the damage step, so once like, your opponent summon Pangotrops, which is like literally your worst nightmare, you can just, when they declare an attack of Pangotrops, you just, declare damage step, activate True Draco Apocalypse, and then, pop a trap card or pop a spell to pop their own True Draco Apocalypse. And since Sky Striker is the hardest matchup, the way that you lose against Sky Striker is if they Afterburner you, right? So for example, what you can do to play around Afterburner is like if they try to activate Afterburner, you can just go activate True Draco Apocalypse, pop your monster, and half your opponent's attack. So Afterburner will actually fizzle, so they won't get to pop 2 cards that you control because you activate True Draco Apocalypse to get rid of your one and only monster. And then once that happens, they have no monster to check on the field. And since once they have no monster to check on the field on the resolution of Afterburner, Afterburner will fizzle and it will not get to pop your back row as well. So True Draco Apocalypse is really broken. This is when the floodgates happen, so sure there can only be one, like one of the best floodgates in this format right now. And for the Soul Burst that it beats Salamangreats, also really good against Striker as well because they can't, basically go Kagari into Shizuku or Ayate. They can't tag out from that. They have to wait till their monster dies. So it can slow them down a little bit, but overall it's just a really great card against Salamangreats. You want skill drain, you can auto win against mostly every single matchup. Same thing, triple Monarchs are up, you're playing 4 skill drains in the deck. Like some of you guys ask me, Sam, why don't you play True Dracos with an extra deck? Nah, man. But this deck can sometimes carry you by just activating 1 floodgate. So you don't need an extra deck for this deck at all. So because Erupt and also skill drain wins you games. Next, you want to play, of course, the 1 Waterfall, the Dragon Souls, gets access to your True Dragon monsters directly from your deck trend, and it can also dodge Afterburner as well, which is really good. You can just go when you Afterburner, you can just go Waterfall, send your monster to graveyard, you draw cards, which is really good. And I obviously side this card out against the Thunder Dragon matchup. And like my spicy tech for the entire weekend, which obviously I play triple Solemn Strike. Card's really good at going first and also going second. The idea behind Solemn Strike is that versus the Monarchs Erupt, and also there can only be 1. If you're placing against Thunder, if you open up there can only 1 in Solemn Strike, like you automatically just win the duel. You set there can only be 1 Solemn Strike. On your opponent's standby phase, you flip there can only be 1. They activate Hot Red Dragon Archfiend to negate. You go Solemn Strike their Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, and then you just win the duel and you just clear their whole entire board, right? So that's the logic behind Solemn Strike. It's also really good going first against Salamangreats once they really Reincarnation Link Summon into their Helio or Reincarnation Link Summon into the Sunlight Wolf. You can just automatically Solemn Strike them, and it's like their turn is just over from there. But the combination of like Solemn Strike with Erupt or combination with Solemn Strike and there can only be 1 is just absolutely devastating because your opponent cannot negate Solemn Strike, right? So there can only be 1 can always survive, and your floodgates can always survive, right? So yeah, Strike is good, and obviously I wouldn't play True Draco if I'm not playing this card. Double Stormy Mirror Force, this card is absolutely insane. I won all my matchups. Once I resolved Stormy Mirror Force, I already won the duel. This card is literally insane. The idea behind it is that obviously once they're trying to OTK you, you just go activate, Stormy Mirror Force. And, deactivate a monster to negate, you just Solemn Strike, and then you clear their entire board right away, right? So against Thunder Dragons, when they're actually able to put the board of double Colossus, like Archfiend, Zombie Stein, you can just go set Storming, set Strike, Sable Object 4, set Strike, set there can only be 1, they attack you. And it's also, a surprise factor because not a lot of people know I play this card. Well, it's a card that I always play in True Draco, so if you see me play True Draco, you should always expect Stormy Mirror Force. Like, generally, people don't expect it, so like once they attack, for a game, you can just go Stormy Mirror Force, bounce all their monster, Chimera attack for game, Stormy Mirror Force, GG. Yeah, man, Stormy Mirror Force is always going to resolve if you see the combination with Solemn Strike, which is really good. So that's my tech for the weekend. I decided to just throw in the double Stormy Mirror Force to make this card like a 42 card deck. This deck has no problem playing over 40 because you're playing so many draw cards in your deck. You're going to be more likely going to see your cards anyway. So no extra deck obviously because you're playing Erupt. Side deck, double Rivalry, double Golden for the Striker matchup, double Winged Dragon Raw Spear mode. Card a really great card against Thunder Dragons, and also the Crusadia Guard Dragon. And obviously against any like break-a-board decks, you want to play triple and infinite impermanence against those matchups. Impermanence is really great. It's a hand trap that you can easily side without having to worry about demise because you can just set this card. And also at the same time, Ogre is also another good card you guys might want to consider siding as well. For the Striker matchup, usually for the Strikers, Imperial Order and these Floodgates just go in against that match because it's like obviously one of the hardest matchups. Double Evenly Match, this card is not good at all. This format, like, it's not good, man. Good players will play around it. It's only good against back row heavy decks, and there's not a lot of back row heavy decks this format. Like, evenly matches is not effective this format, in my opinion, guys. It's not good. Like, break-a-board decks, Zombie Stein is going to negate, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend is going to negate. Like, there's no point, right? So, evenly is just not that great this format. My MVP for the entire weekend, guys, Triple Monarch Stormforth. Card is insane. every games 2 and 3, I slide this card in, regardless if I'm going first or second, especially against Salamangreats or any OTK-based decks like Crusadia. Like, you need to play Stormforth. And the idea behind Stormforth is very simple. Okay, let me do some skillful True Draco, plays right here for you guys. Okay, obviously, games 2 and 3, the best card that you want to set up first turn is Dynamite. Okay, is you want to set up Dynamite with you want to set up Dynamite with like a monster in hand, Like, this is all you need. Like, games 2 and 3, if you can have a Floodgate with a Dynamite, Stormforth, and like a monster in hand, like, if like you win the game. Okay, so basically the idea behind this combo and the idea behind Stormforth is truly because of this. Okay, so let's say you have a Floodgate. So let's say what's Erupt. Okay, so you have Erupt. Okay, so basically what you want to do is that you obviously just want to, with the idea behind Stormforth, your weakest, the card that makes this deck weak is Red Reboot. The 3 losses that I had was because my opponent Red Rebooted me. Okay, literally, all the games 3. Games 1, I won all my game 1s. I'm not kidding. I won all my games 1 in the event. Games 2 and 3, game 3 especially, I lost because of Reboot. This card saved me so many times against the Salamangreat matchup because I was able to play around the Reboot. This card is the reason why you can play around Reboot, and I'll explain to you guys how. Okay, so basically, ideally, for every games 2 and 3, you want to try to play around Red Reboot as much as possible. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to set up Dynamite with the monster in hand. Okay, and you want to set your 2 Floodgates or your Stormforth and a Floodgate. If you have a Floodgate, you're Gucci. You know what I mean? So you have this, right? This is your board right here. So you have Dynamite, 2 back rows, and like a mid in hand. So what you want to do, the first thing your opponent does on their turn, activate a monster effect, a spell. No matter what you do not flip your Floodgate. If you flip your Floodgate, you automatically lose the duel because they can just Red Reboot you and your turn is done. It's game over. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to deactivate a monster effect or deactivate a spell, whatever. Activate Dynamite's effect immediately to set a trap card directly from your deck. So, return. Alright, boom. Activate return. Now, you have a face-up True King's Return on the field. Okay? Your opponent cannot reboot the Dynamite Knight because it's a monster effect activation, right? So once they activate a card, they can't be like, okay, activate Red Reboot to negate your True King's Return. They can't do that because Dynamite is activating the card directly from the deck. So your opponent cannot Red Reboot you. So right now you're already playing through Reboot, right? So you activate anything, activate Dynamite, activate a True King's Return. By the way, Red Reboot says that your opponent cannot activate trap cards for the rest of the turn. It doesn't prevent you from activating trap card effects, okay? So now at this point, if you activate a Floodgate and they Red Reboot you, sure, doesn't matter. You can still survive, okay, cool. So if they Red Reboot you, you can just set this card face down and set another trap directly from the deck, but you still have a True King's Return up, okay? So now what you do against Salamangreat. So cool, so let's say they Red Reboot you, right? Cool. Alright, you're stunned for your trap cards from activating any other trap cards for the turn. But you still have a True King's Return effect that you can activate this turn, right? So, Salamangreats, they're relying on the normal summon. So when a normal summons into something, you can just activate True King's Return's effect to get to tribute on your opponent's turn. And then you can chain Stormforth. So you just chain Stormforth. It's a spell card, so you can play under Reboot, which is really, really good. Okay? And then you tribute their monster, summon a Maiden. And then yeah, bro. And then you just stop them from killing you this turn. So that's how you play around Red Reboot. On all my matches that I did this, I won. And the crazy thing about this deck is that Salamangreat Chimera gets the additional effect because Diagram boosts all your monsters, right? So they're just gonna one-hit OTK you. But if you have this combination right here, okay, this combination right here, if you set up this combination, games 2 and 3, you can play around Red Reboot, and that's what you want to do all the time. And this is why Stormforth is just really, really good. So that's my logic behind the Monarch Stormforth. You want to try to play Reboot as much as possible. In all my games that I lost, I got Red Rebooted, and I just lost. I just didn't see the Stormforth, right? So it was very unfortunate, but that's how you play around Red Reboot. And to be honest, guys, moving forward, I don't think I'll be playing True Dragos for the rest of the format. I'm probably going to be playing Salamangreats. This deck is a really good deck. Floodgates can carry you. Linear decks will not survive you 13 rounds of a competitive event. It just never works like that. You can play this deck, no problems. It'll be good for 6-7 rounds, and then after that, it's just too linear. What I found out at the UDS, every game's 2 and 3, I at least get 12 side deck cards side against me. Triple Twin, triple Pankotrop, triple Reboot, triple Evenly. How the heck am I supposed to play Yu-Gi-Oh? If I'm playing around Red Reboot, sure, that's nice, but how can I play around Red Reboot and Twin Twister? You just can't. yeah, man, that's pretty much it for my deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Here are some theories and my insight behind this deck. I really hope I could have done better. If I had more testing, I'm pretty sure I could have advanced further in the tournament. But that's pretty much for this video. This is your boy Sam from Team Sam signing out. All right, guys. Peace.
I feel like Usain in the cheetah print. Talk fresh game, I don't need a minute. R.I.P. the game, I need a minute. Okay, let's proceed with it. I'm in the house, got the deed with it. These bozos always sneak this and they taking shots. I'm a key with it. Like, no, this league business.